Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Campus Care EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. A topic for the discussion is changes in schools and teachers' recruitment under New Education Policy 2020. And to express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Mrs. Paramita Roy, ma'am, Principal of Narbheram Hansraj English School, Jharkhand. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time.
Thank you for
So, ma'am,
inviting.
yes. So let's start off with the
Thank you for
session, ma'am.
inviting
Shall
me.
we?
Yes, please.
So, ma'am, firstly, how do you think the new education policy, impacts the CTET, qualified teachers recruitment process?
Under the new education policy, the the teachers' eligibility test, that's the TET and the CTAT, the central teachers' eligibility test, will be strengthened with regards to both the pedagogy and the content. Initially, what happened was that the CTAT now, as it is in its present format, has two parts. The first part is for teachers who would like to teach at the levels of 1 to 5, and the second part is for teachers who would like to teach from 6 to 8. But in the present policy stipulates that this will cover all the other stages, all the stages specified in the new education policy, that is the foundational, the preparatory, the middle and the secondary. So that's a big difference between the CTAT that we have it now and the CTAT that will be introduced when the implementation happens. And for subject teachers, the CTAT scores and the National Testing Agency test scores will also be taken into account with the corresponding subjects in mind, keeping the corresponding subjects in mind. So after that, and apart from after, so you need B.Ed degree. I'll come to the education later on. And you need a CTAT certificate to get yourself recruited as a teacher. And this will be implemented also for private schools. That I think is a good move. And continuous opportunities for development. That is, the continuous professional development process will be implemented also, so that each teacher will have to go for a maximum of 50 hours of continuous professional development sessions. That also is very important because teachers need to keep themselves updated with the modern technologies, the innovations that's happening all around the world. So I think the teachers' recruitment process will undergo major changes, and it will be for the good.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really well explained, answer by you. So, moving forward, ma'am, what do you think are the changes in the area of teachers' education, that has been proposed by the new education policy?
Again, there are major changes envisioned for teacher education. Now we have all teachers, it's mandatory for all teachers to complete their B.Ed courses. But by 2030, it's a 4 years integrated B.Ed program that all teachers will have to undergo before they can be considered for teaching positions. And a 2 years B.Ed syllabus, B.Ed degree will also be considered, provided the teacher has done a bachelor's degree in the subject of his choice, in the subject he prefers to, which he wishes to take up for teaching. And a 1 year B.Ed degree will also be considered, provided the candidate has undergone 4 years of bachelor's degree, a bachelor's program, or has a master's degree in the subject of his choice. So, and in the B.Ed degree particularly, practicum. A lot of emphasis is given on practicum. That is in classroom teaching. Because that is where the teachers really lack. When you face a classroom, it's a different ball game altogether than when you do the theory part and give an exam. So that has been emphasized upon. And apart from that, there will be uh, kind of teachers would be encouraged to go for an in-class demonstration or an interview session. And for the interview session, basically is to assess. One of the components of the interview session will be to assess uh, the competency of the teacher with regards to teaching in the local language, because that is also an emphasis. There is also an emphasis on local languages, so that there will be some teachers in the school who can speak, who can converse to the students in their local language. That is very important to make the students comfortable in that school environment. And this is apart from that, and this, all these B.Ed programs will contain the time-tested and also new innovative technologies, and they will cover this four levels. That is the foundational, the preparatory, the middle, and the secondary. The secondary levels that has been envisaged in the new education policy. So that is the most important, and there will also be merit-based scholarships for to encourage good and brilliant students to come for the teaching profession, which the teaching profession it lacks. So merit-based scholarships will be offered to teachers who would like to come in for the B.Ed programs, who would like to come in for the uh, uh, take up teaching positions. That is again a very important thing. And apart from that, there will be special educators. And special educators means who would be, and training also given for special educators who would be appointed to take care of students with special abilities, special children who have learning disabilities, or it can be different kinds of disabilities. So special educators would also be in place, and training for special educators would also be given. So it's a very comprehensive program, and I'm sure the teaching fraternity would win.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a really brief answer by you. So, lastly, ma'am, what do you think are the roles of teachers for qualifying education in the light of new education policy 2020?
Teachers are at the forefront of the education system, and the roles of teachers have undergone a sea change from what it used to be before, because the emphasis has now shifted from rote learning to learning with understanding. And so the role of teachers have become more like facilitators. So they have to ensure that the children do not learn to memorize, but understand the concepts that they have been taught in the class. And they develop the 21st century skills. And what I mean by 21st century skills, I mean critical thinking, problem solving skills. And so teachers now have a very different role to play. So they have to adopt a more inquiry-based teaching approach, where the students can learn independently, and that concept of lifelong learning that is inculcated in the students. So teachers have a very major role to play in a modern scenario, and to ensure that our children are not left behind when compared with children of other countries, because they have to innovate and execute the innovations in the classroom. That is very important. Experiential learning, storytelling approach, play and activity-based learning, all these important concepts should be incorporated in their teaching strategy. So teachers have a very important role to play, and they have to be open to ideas. And they have to go for continuous professional development so that they keep themselves updated with everything that's happening around them. That is very important. And also, as I said, the special educators, there's an important place for special educators. They will also have to learn not only how to effectively teach, but also to understand the requirements of students with learning disabilities. So teachers, as I said, have a very major role. In fact, the most important part of this new education policy is that it focuses on teachers, and the teachers are affect teachers the way a teacher teaches, and the main focus now is not only on cognitive development, but also on character building and holistic development, of well-rounded holistic individuals. And for that, teachers need to attain these skills to cater to these specific requirements. How to ensure that a student becomes a well-rounded personality and is equipped with the 21st century skills. So these trainings, that the continuous professional development, these trainings that will be imparted will help them, will equip them with these skills to train students to adapt to the new modern scenario, modern environment.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Indeed, teachers play a major role in our lives. And thank you so much, ma'am, for briefing us about so much about the new education policy. It was really an informative session with you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And thanks again for inviting me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure to have you here, ma'am.
Thank you.
And for all the viewers watching us out, please subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too.